Well, when I brought this up after the news broke that the Henry Cavill Highlander reboot has moved to Amazon, I got a few comments. Naturally, I didn't read them, because why would I? But the missus did, and she pointed out the sheer blasphemy being uttered by people who genuinely think remaking a beloved classic is somehow a good idea. And honestly, I agree. And that's why I'm talking about it now, in this little series I like to call Films That Should Have Been Series. Now, before anyone starts shrieking, yes, I know Highlander already had a TV series. Adrian Paul, Duncan MacLeod, the whole bit. Calm down. This isn't about that. This is a hypothetical. What if the original Highlander concept had been reimagined, not as a reboot movie, but as a proper 5-season prestige television arc? Something that could build the world, deepen the characters, and tell the story the way it deserves to be told. Because cramming 400 years of emotional trauma, sword fights, philosophy, and time-hopping mythos into 2 hours, that's not cinema. It's creative malpractice. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Daemon, and today we're talking about how Highlander should never be rebooted into a movie. It should be reforged into a legendary 5-season epic, or better yet, it should have started that way. Season 1, The Outcast of the Highlands, from 1536 to 1541, we begin with sweeping shots of the Scottish Highlands. Connor MacLeod, a young warrior of Clan MacLeod, is gearing up for battle against the rival Clan Fraser. He's bold, loyal, and tragically naive. On the battlefield, he faces the Kurgan, a literal tank of a man with a bloodlust so palpable you can feel the dread. Connor is gutted, seemingly dead, only to recover unharmed. Cue the fear, the whispers, the villagers crying witchcraft. His own kin turn on him, his lover condemns him. He's exiled, banished to wander the world, a cursed man, but he doesn't die. Can't die. The season explores his heartbreak, isolation, and early confusion. He stumbles through this new life until a flamboyant Spanish-Egyptian immortal named Ramirez arrives, delivering sass, wisdom, and an offer: learn to survive or die screaming. The finale, Ramirez placing a katana in Connor's hand as the skies crack with thunder, and the voiceover, there can be only one. Season 2, The Teacher and the Beast, 1542 to the 1600s. Connor is now an apprentice. Ramirez becomes his reluctant mentor, showing him the ropes, immortals, the game, the quickening, and the brutal reality of the gathering. This season's heart is the bond between these two. Ramirez is flamboyant, cunning, cultured, and surprisingly kind. Connor slowly becomes less savage, more controlled. He learns swordplay, philosophy, languages, how to endure. But peace is never permanent. The Kurgan, still alive and more monstrous than ever, hunts them. Ramirez fights him off in a harrowing last-man-standing duel, buying Connor time but dying in the process. His final lesson: fight with purpose, not rage. Connor, broken and burning with vengeance, disappears into legend once again. His heart is colder, his smile gone, his blade sharper. Centuries pass. We find Connor in 18th century France, tangled up in revolutions, duels, and these ever-shifting allegiances. He moves like a phantom, sometimes getting involved, but more often just passing through. This is the globe-trotting season. Paris, Vienna, Kyoto, Cairo. Along the way he meets other immortals. Some end up as allies, some as enemies. He starts to notice, how many of them break under the sheer weight of time. Isolation, it turns out, is the real killer. He falls in love again naturally, maybe even twice, and, well, each time ends in tragedy. Either she dies of age or sickness, or becomes collateral damage in a battle he tried so hard to avoid. We also catch glimpses of Connor becoming feared among some immortals. A Highlander with a katana and that 1,000-yard stare, the sort who walks into duels like he's already buried you. The season wraps up in London, 1888. Jack the Ripper might just be an immortal. Connor hunts him through fog-drenched alleyways. The implication: even among immortals, some are monsters. Now we're in the thick of World War II. A gritty, black-and-white season, well, figuratively speaking. Connor is either recruited or maybe he volunteers to infiltrate Nazi-occupied territories. Why? Because an immortal has wormed his way into the SS. using all that chaos to gather heads and power without any consequence. Connor's mission is straightforward: eliminate him, but of course, nothing's ever simple in war, is it? He teams up with resistance fighters, saves civilians, and even starts mentoring a young immortal who's just experienced his first death during the Blitz. Connor sees himself in the lad, which, honestly, only makes his eventual death that much more painful. The season builds to this violent showdown inside a crumbling cathedral while bombs rain down, sword against sword, as the world falls apart. The Nazi immortal dies, but the cost? Connor's humanity. He walks away from the war numb, exhausted, and more alone than ever. Season 5. The Gathering, 1985. Back to where it all began, right? New York City. The neon-drenched, rain-slick streets of 1985. Connor is now, well, a ghost in the modern world, operating as an antiquities dealer. Cold, sharp, silent. The game is reaching its conclusion. The last immortals are being drawn together. The police, bless them, think they're investigating serial decapitations. Connor knows it's the endgame. He reconnects with Rachel, his adopted daughter, and meets Brenda Wyatt, a forensics expert who honestly gets a bit too close to the truth. Through them, we see Connor's struggle, embracing life again, or just surrendering to fate. And, of course, the Kurgan returns. The final duel takes place atop Silvercup Studios, lightning arcing through the air. Swords clash, metal screams. The entire story comes full circle. Connor wins, the quickening explodes across the skyline, and finally, he feels peace for the first time in 450 years. And here's the thing they never seem to grasp in Hollywood. Highlander is a one-and-done story. It ends perfectly. The mystery, the tragedy, the final duel, it closes the book. The gathering happens, the prize is won, and the saga concludes with bittersweet finality. Every sequel after that, just pure noise. A dumpster fire of continuity errors, alien retcons, resurrected characters who were very clearly decapitated, and timeline nonsense that makes the rise of Skywalker look subtle. They didn't build lore, they built a tangled mess of rewrites, contradictions, and forehead-slapping moments. By the time you get to Highlander 2, you're honestly wondering if anyone involved even watched the first one. This isn't just a better way to tell the story, it's the only way to tell it properly. Every season brings a new flavor: historical, epic, philosophical drama, gritty war tale, noir mystery, modern fantasy. It could have been prestige TV. World-class writing, incredible sword choreography adapted to each era, a real examination of immortality and its consequences. Instead, we're getting a reboot. Again, a shiny, hollow attempt to cash in on nostalgia while gutting everything that made the original resonate. They'll throw in some slow-mo fights, a pop soundtrack, and a few deep-sounding lines that mean absolutely nothing, all to sell a 2-hour film that tries to pretend it understands 400 years of pain and loss. But hey, Hollywood gonna Hollywood. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, like the video, and leave your opinions in the comments, where, naturally, I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.